What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Safe Space Podcast, man. Ooh, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but hey, I'm here.
Yeah, we here, blessed and highly favored.
Am I?
Just once again, I want to thank each and every one of you all who are listening, who are sharing, who are subscribing, who are following the page. We appreciate you. We are still growing. We are still learning. We are still, in the process of preparing video and other streaming services. So thank you all for rocking with us. I've received numerous videos, chats, messages, voice messages, just thanking us for our realness, thanking us for our sincerity, our openness, men being open about our feelings, how we feel, and what that means to us. I'm not gonna put the names out there because just for safety, I don't HIPAA laws. But I had some really, really close friends who were dealing with things that I never knew they were dealing with.
Yeah.
Respond. Actually, I think they put us in the message together. We talked together with them, and they just were so thankful that some of these messages are hitting home and hitting them personally in moments and times where they feel weak or they feel like they're not as strong as they would need to be. And I think that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. That's why God placed this on my heart for us to move forward with this. So again, I just want to thank each and every person for rocking with us, keeping us going. And again, I am Sorrell Crenshaw, your host, my co-host here. If you want to introduce himself as well.
Yeah, it's Don Crenshaw.
So I think somebody asked us the other day, they say, "Man, y'all sound so much alike. I don't know who is talking." But again, sometimes, yeah. But I am Sorrell Crenshaw. This is my big baby brother, Don Crenshaw. But man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you for each and every person that's listening and giving us a listen and a follow. Even my mentor hit me up. He said, "Hey man, I sent it over to 4 or 5 guys and they just said it was right on time."
Yeah.
It's like, when is the next episode dropping? I'm like, we working, man. It's a lot
of real life stuff going on.
It is a lot of real life things. So I'll start here. Actually, let me give y'all the title of our episode 5. So we're gearing to our episode 5. So thank you for that. Thank you for those just getting us going. So episode 5, here we are. So with episode 5, we wanted to talk through. We talked a little bit early on about kind of like balance, and like how that was my word of the year, but it keeps coming back, and I think we need to dive into it a little more. Especially, so this episode is going to be called "Boundaries and Balance." Right?
Yeah.
I realize more and more people are surprised when you put up boundaries.
They're offended too sometimes.
9 times out of 10 they're offended.
Yeah.
So so that's going to be the title of the message for episode 5. But so we can jump right into it. But I forgot what I was even going to say before.
No, you good. So I mean, the episode is boundaries and balance. So when you talked about it earlier, I believe it was episode 2 or 3, you kind of delved into like being a parent, God-fearing parent, because that's your life a little different. Yeah, my life's different. A God-fearing parent, and mixing that, you have a wife, you have 2 kids. So you talked about the balance of that. So we can jump back into that a little later. But the other part is a balance. I mean, not balance, boundaries. So tell us, I mean, I don't want to just throw you out there on the spot, but give us an example of you establishing a boundary or someone else you see that either establish it or like the consequence of doing it. I know that's a lot, but you can
we can kind of deal with that for sure. So I guess the easiest way to explain it, or an example to give would be if we look at as far as how boundaries kind of are set up in our lives. We understand that sometimes we don't even realize that we need a boundary in a certain place. So let's start off there. Let's really start there, right? Because you can be in a different headspace. You can have a lot of stuff going on, and you may not know how to vocally or emotionally be mature enough to tell that person, "Hey, I need space."
Yeah.
"Hey, I need a second," or "Hey, you know what? I am not comfortable."
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with
it. You're not toxic for that.
But why do people feel like that, you think?
I think that it's kind of like a backwards effect. I feel like the new generation just loves the idea of being toxic, and it's like, ooh, like I'm toxic. So when you do something that's actually healthy, it's like, oh, let's just lump that into being toxic, and it's really the exact opposite.
The exact opposite.
It's really just being a grown up.
So do you think people misconstrue being I guess toxic and just not having the understanding or not knowing, the miseducation?
Yeah, the miseducation, but again, like a boundary. Like the thing is, when you put up a boundary as the person that does it, you have to realize that when you put up the boundary, the other person has to deal with the consequences, and you do too.
Yeah.
Because if you put up a boundary, let's say like up with your parent, then now for like maybe like a month or two, you're not speaking with your parent. So that's something. I mean, you can.
But you gotta be prepared for it.
Yeah, you just gotta be prepared for that. So that's kind of the main thing that I see.
And everybody's dynamic is different. Some people talk to their parents once a day. Some people talk once a month. Some people talk once a quarter, once a year. So it's all about
not at all.
Some people talk not at all, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's because you set a boundary, or you set a precedent of, hey, I'm asking you to respect me in this way.
Yeah. And
you look at it as disrespect when I'm telling you, I'm trying to show you as a mature adult, I need these things to happen when this is going on, or I'm asking you to respect me in this way. If you can't respect me, that's okay. I'm going to move forward.
That's the thing. That it's okay.
It is okay, but you have to deal with those consequences.
Right.
If you want to have regular conversations, if you want to go to lunch, if you want to schedule, family events, you want to schedule, vacations, or you want to establish things around me with me involved, and you can't respect my boundaries, I won't be in attendance.
Yeah. No, that's facts.
And that means if I'm not in attendance, my wife's not in attendance. If my wife's not in attendance and I'm not in attendance, neither are my children.
Right. It's a package deal.
We come together or none at all.
Yeah.
So I think with that, healthy boundaries have to be set, and you have to be okay with telling someone how you feel. And being able to balance.
Hard too. Hold on, pause a little.
Okay. Let's get into
that's
that.
hard. That's not easy.
Okay, so
I'm not saying for me personally.
No. Okay, I'm with you, but you're saying it's hard. So where does? So I know why it's hard, because again, I've done the therapy, I've done the work to get over that hump. What's your, I guess, viewpoint on why it's so hard?
Because most of us just emulate what we see. So that's either from older siblings, parents. I'll go with people in the church that might like. They may not like that one, but I don't really know how to go around it.
We can get into that because that's a huge place where boundaries should be set that are not.
And a lot of people walking around with church hurt. But we'll get back. We'll come back for that.
We'll come back to that. But again, I think those are clear cut examples of where boundaries can be set, especially that's more so just talking just with your parents. So I think even to go further. When we just had a relationship series, so I won't talk too deep into that. But even so, let's say your coworkers, you don't have to hit accept when your coworker sends you a friend request.
I don't have to hit accept, but I'm ignoring.
Or you don't have to send them like if you want your work-life balance to be separate, sending your coworkers your social media handles or your account information to now follow them through their social journeys in life. Opens yourself up to not really having a lot of boundary. Right? So if you want, you say, I want work and life to be separate.
Get a LinkedIn.
Right. If you want to make a mature decision and you want to follow my journey through my career, follow me on LinkedIn. You're not getting my Instagram.
No, that's fact.
Right? You're not getting
nothing's crazy on there. Just I don't know you.
It's not even that it's crazy. It's more so like that's my personal life. Right. That's my wife, my kids. I don't want anything to come back where it's like, well, I didn't like the way, they celebrate Halloween and I don't appreciate it. Which I'm also going to get in real quick. Just a small snippet. Okay. Black people, if you say you don't celebrate Halloween, you say you just want to get dressed up and eat good food, you're celebrating Halloween. But I'm gonna leave it right there. That's done. I just wanted to say that. Sorry. We was at Target and I seen the Halloween costumes and we was just talking about it. I'm like, why do we do that?
Why do we do what? Like have one foot in, or what do you mean?
Basically, we say we don't want to do something, but we do the exact. We still do it, but we're like, oh, it's our version. No, sweetheart, you're still doing it.
Yeah, like I don't celebrate ever since. Well, it was like 2 or 3 years ago when they actually started talking about it more on the social media side. but I don't celebrate 4th of July.
Right. And we just didn't do anything 4th of July.
Just don't do anything. We
didn't
might be with each other, but
we didn't do the whole grilling out and having a big party and everything. Didn't. But we did do celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
For that reason. Sorry, I didn't want to go on a tangent, but yeah.
No, that was good.
All right, back to boundaries. So we
kind of talked about, I guess, give someone an example of how to set a boundary, and if you need me to, I can specify it because you already did. Well, you kind of already did for like at work, but how about set
the scene? Oh, okay,
sibling, yeah,
ooh,
like a sister and a brother. And the brother's just being like,
stay out of my room. No,
yeah. Like the brother's just like bearing down on his sister, like, hey, stay inside. Don't be going out late. You ain't gonna be one of these little fads. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, how would you give her?
That brother is probably, he's
older brother too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that brother is probably scared because as he is a man, he knows how he treats women. So he's scared. He's scared that he's gonna be on the other side of that, treating his sister like that.
Nigga spit.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I didn't even think about that.
So you got so look at it like that. A lot of times what we try to save people from are ourselves. And what we see in ourselves and other people.
Our own insecurities.
Our own issues and insecurity. So a lot of times is those boundaries and that specific like kind of balance, because you got to be kind of balanced with that, right? As your big brother, I didn't have to worry about that because you're a man. As you know, not unfortunately, but ideally,
I'm a man.
Fortunately, you're a man, so I didn't have to deal with, hey man, don't be out here selling it for movie tickets. Like, so
oh my God,
so specific. Just say it. Hey, I'm just keeping it real,
okay,
right?
For sure.
So ideally, I didn't have to have that conversation with you. Now, if I had females that we call sisters.
If we had
and
a
all those
sister,
things,
bro,
yeah, it'd be crazy. My sister probably would be crazy if we had like an actual sister. Which I do have sisters, so shout out to the women out there that call me brother and I call them sisters. But if I had a blood sister that I grew up with and was raised with, I feel for them.
I do too.
Because I would treat them like a little brother.
Is it Bad Boys? Is it Bad Boys 2 or 1? When he pulled up, it was 2. Yeah, I'll be just like them and Bad Boys 2 for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So I think okay. So let's make sure we stay on topic here. So setting that boundary as the big brother with a younger sister, that's really what that is. Is he is scared to have his sister be treated how he treats women. Number one. 2, the sister probably is fighting him against it because she's like, I'm just finding the same dudes that are just like my big brother. And she's like, you know what? He's trying to keep me safe. So is this guy over here in the streets trying to keep me safe.
And you know what? Let me pause you right there. She's not even thinking about that, bro. I was about to say, it's a 2. Because I think I'm the younger sibling, so I already know. Sibling, so I would say it's 2 things. For one, he probably hasn't been vulnerable with her in the first place. And then second off, she's not even looking at it like that. To her, it's just like, man, he's trying to stop my fun. That's why I think, at least.
Yeah, I mean, as an older sibling, I don't really have a lot of knowledge or perspective there. But
you said it. You said it for protection. I didn't even think like that because I'm a younger sibling. Like, why are you protecting me?
I think as an older brother, all I'm thinking about is protection. Right. So my boundary to you, that boundary is set up. Hey, I ain't trying to know about all your escapades.
Right.
But I do want to make sure that you're safe, that you're covered, and you feel comfortable enough to come to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to know every detail, ins and out of it, but I at least need to know, hey, are you being safe? Do you feel like, that you can come to me, or there's open communication to a certain extent, right? That's a boundary that you said. And then I think for her, that boundary for her is, I don't need you all in my business, but if something go down, I need you ready to ride.
So how does she? So I think my question is, how does she do that?
Clear-cut communication. Ideally, a lot of our boundaries aren't set because we don't know how to tell people what we need.
We just need to tell them, like, hey, like, back off a little bit. Like, thank you. But back off a little bit. Or
hey, I know that you're trying to protect me. I know that you're being my big brother.
Yeah.
But I need you to let me figure this out.
Yeah.
Right? I need you to be okay with me not being perfect and not being the best at this in this moment. Right?
Yeah.
Like, even for me and you, I had to learn how to say, I can't do it for Donald. I have to let you figure it out and step away, but still be close enough. If you say, hey, bro, I need you, I'm already locked in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something else that we have to learn in that boundary setting. I can't always be everybody's Superman. And being okay with I can't be everybody's Superman.
Yeah.
So a boundary I'm setting for myself is if you don't ask for help, I'm not going to give it to you.
All right. You got to watch people drown.
I got to see you at least struggle. I wouldn't say drown because that's
now you gotta watch them
that's
drown,
when it's
man.
over. Realize drowning is over with.
You right, but metaphorically, like you gotta watch them go down.
You gotta fall. I gotta let you fall.
Their hand reaching out. Yeah.
I have to let you. If you don't reach out with no struggle, with no drive, no push to say I'm going to figure this out on my own. If whatever I give you is been falling on deaf ears.
So I actually got a good one.
Go ahead.
And you guys gonna have to think about this.
Okay.
So I asked somebody that listens to the pod, something boundary wise, what is something good to know? And they said in a marriage, and we can do. I know a lot of people aren't married, but we can do like relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Okay.
In a marriage, what are the boundaries as far as like the phone, the cell phone, and like looking at other people's apps, messages, stuff like that? Do you have any comments on that?
I really don't think that there's a problem with it. I don't know. Everybody's relationship is so it is different. I can only talk about my relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with my spouse going through my messages, my phone.
See, some people say that's like a breach of privacy.
In this moment.
Yeah.
Early on, and it wasn't because I was doing anything I wasn't supposed to do. It was more so I felt like there was like a trust thing, and it's also like I'm not doing anything, so why are you looking for something that's not there?
I get that.
So then it's like, well, dang, do you believe in me? Do you trust in me? So that, and it just made me feel like how dare you think that I'm not here for you? Now, and a lot of times, most people be like, well, you're hiding something.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I might not think it's something, but then again, because you're looking, you turn something that could be a simple conversation or a simple exchange into, well, you guys were flirting or this was happening. So I think, right? So it could be simple conversation. And a lot of times, to be truthfully honest, as a man, half the time I'm probably not paying attention. I'm just messaging or making a response, right?
That's so fast,
and I'm just making a response.
We don't be putting no brain power in it.
I'm not putting that much attention to it because they don't deserve that attention.
Yeah.
They don't deserve that from me. So I'm really not paying attention to it. Until I was married, until I became a married man, I never really realized some conversations are leading conversations. Women are leading me to a conversation where it's into where I'm not trying to go, and where I shouldn't go as a married man, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have a personal issue with it. I don't do it because I don't ask Ashley, or my wife. I don't ask Ashley for her phone.
Yeah.
I don't ask to see her messages, whatever.
No.
I don't have any issues with it.
Yeah.
And early on, she would ask for mine, and it would have this thing where I'm like, I don't think you should go through because I'm not doing anything, and whatever, trust whatever. But I have to realize if that's what makes her in our relationship, if that's what solidifies or makes her feel safe, that's something that she needs to get, and it doesn't affect or hurt me. Okay, do it. Whatever.
It's a difference. If it's a difference between wanting your privacy respected and you just like blocking you off completely, because the person that's sitting in is like in a relationship,
okay,
and they're just like, the other person is just like, no, you can never touch my phone because I don't like that.
And if they don't like it, they don't like that.
But
also it's suspicious.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't
it's
like
a little
that.
suspicious.
It's a little suspicious.
Like, I understand, like, not. I guess I never thought about that, because my thing is when you're dating, it's like, that's not even your phone. But when you married, I feel like the partner should have your password just in case.
You never know what can happen. It's not even about checking messages or going through whatever. If something ever happens and you need to get banking information, you need to get passwords to accounts. You need to contact my family members because I've hurt myself, and you don't have their numbers readily available. You can just find them in my phone or in my in my thing. So it's not. I think it's different. Right, if you're doing some things you're not supposed to do, you're sneaking around, you're cheating, whatever, adultery, whatever. I think those things push that, but the boundary would be if you know your spouse, right, or your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they have a issue with that. Like, I think my issue was more so like I just didn't like people having my things because they don't respect them the same way I do.
Facts.
That's really, I think, what my
no one can borrow my AirPods. That's nothing to do with my wife losing my AirPods.
But I realized too, like I have to set that boundary with people of how they use my things, because 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna take care of them how I do. So that's where my boundary is. It's not about can you see it. I don't feel safe or comfortable with you doing it, or I'm hiding something. I don't trust how you take care of your things, and I don't like how you, or I don't know that you're going to be able to do it the same way I am, right? Yeah. So that's my boundary with that. But I say to to our follower and listener who sent that in, just have that conversation. Like, hey, what is it about this that is causing you to have such pushback, or because you've set up this, I guess, wall, not really a boundary. You basically set up a wall saying, I just,
and a wall and a boundary, are they similar?
They're similar, but they're still different. Because a boundary is basically saying, like, hey, I need you to watch this because this is how it makes me feel. The wall is like, there's no compromise. There's no conversation. I don't want you to do this. That's not really a boundary. I think that wall is like, it's stuck. Right? The boundary is more so I'm telling you, like, this is my inner circle, and I need you to be careful when you tread in towards this inner circle because of how it makes me feel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, again, that wall is being put up because there could be trauma behind it. There could be a lot of different things with that, right?
Yeah.
So again, I think
that's not fair to the new partner, though. If I can be honest.
But again, it's got to be, like we talked about, it's got to be also a balance. There should be a balance where it's like, okay, you're more so wanting to see this device to see if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do, or is it just like you just want to borrow it?
Yeah, you can't just like, okay, so it's like this. If I go take a shower, you can't just like take my phone,
sit here and go
knowing I don't know you in my phone, and just scrolling it for an hour.
Yeah, because then that feels.
But you can ask for
secretly, it. Yeah, you can ask for it, and I can hand it to you. Okay. Versus you like I'm in, like you said, I'm in the shower and like you're just going through my messages. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of weird.
It's strange.
It's kind of weird.
It's not normal.
It's not. But it happens. Apparently it happens more than not. Apparently from this I'll say not caller, but subscriber or follower.
89, ain't it? But yeah, they supposed to know this, and I think we definitely answered that. Let me see here. Maintaining your own interests in let's do a marriage because we both are in one. How do you maintain your own interests? You know what I'm saying?
Like
if you love going to the gym, like do you have to
perfect.
Not
that's
go
perfect.
because
this is perfect. So again, this is a part of the balance side, right? So maybe not as much for as boundary. Mm-hmm. As far as balance goes, I know that I don't like to go to the gym at 5:00 in the morning. I can do it, but I know if I go, it is going to start my day and get my day going. But I'm gonna feel kind of like groggy at the end of the day, and then having to get up the next morning to do it. That's just not for me. Yeah. So as a balance, I go in the gym in the afternoon after the kids are picked up. We get them ready for nighttime. We feed them, have their dinner set up, whatever. And then I go to the gym. 5:36. I got a whole gym crew now. We kind of go together. It's kind of working out. Ashley's with the kids. She puts them down for bed. Or by the time I get there, I can kind of help with downtime, etc. In the morning, Ashley goes now at 5:00, 5:30 because she likes to get going first thing in the morning. Get up, get going,
I do too.
And that pushes
Not 5,
her.
But I do like going in the morning.
But ideally for us, for our schedule, we have to get up that early to get kids for daycare, son to school, which we know my son just started pre-K for. So that's a huge accomplishment in itself. But with these new time changes and these new intervenes as far as scheduling goes, I have to now prioritize my interests, having time to come to our podcast, having time to have a guys weekend, or having time to have time for myself. I have to prioritize that in between all of my schedule. I have to balance that.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I realized today, taking Deuce, I realized today.
I was today years old.
When I realized my parents probably listened to a sixth of what I would say just ride in the car. The whole trip from our house to breakfast, Deuce was rapping.
He was talking.
And I heard all of it. Now, mind you, I heard it all. I had to block out 80% of it.
All right, no.
And it was just nonstop. It was continuous. It was multiple pieces. Nothing really lined up.
Right.
And he was just, he was just,
came to his mind.
He was just going and going. And Cece did that to me Thursday, picking her up from daycare. So it was just one of those things that I realized I'm like, what?
What are you supposed to do in that moment?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I think you have a dad brain, so I feel like if something like serious is said, you'll snap out of the you know what I'm saying?
100%. And that's why I said our parents only heard a sixth of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they heard, we could go back and forth, blah, 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 blah. When we start to say something negative or derogatory towards each other, my dad immediately stopped it. Right? Or if we start saying something that was getting to be a little too much, my mom will immediately stop it.
Yeah.
But again, 9 times out of 10, we would just be rapping. So I realized on today that I have to balance that out and say, you know what, prioritize, have majority of what he's saying, but also give him the space to talk and be like hey, I can't tell him to be quiet or shut up in the back.
You really got to engage if you.
I got to keep him engaged to make sure that he knows he's comfortable speaking to me, with me, and around me.
Yeah.
You never want to shut your kid out from being able to have a voice.
He said, "Excuse me," when me and you were talking earlier. I said, "Dang."
So again, this is a part of some of his shout out to ABA therapy. If your child is diagnosed with autism and they have not got an ABA therapist, please get them help. It is free help available. We're here in North Carolina, but there's free help available for them through the state, with or without insurance.
Dang.
That's another thing people don't realize, with or without insurance. And I ain't trying to go too much off topic, but ideally, this has been a night and day difference of reshaping minds and reshaping these children's lives who are being diagnosed with autism and who are autistic. My son is on a different side of the spectrum than some of the others who are nonverbal, who may have difference of movement of their limbs, or who do not have full control of their limbs and body parts and things like that, or epilepsy, whatever you call it. There's so much.
It's a wide spectrum.
It's a huge spectrum. But ideally, he's on the side where it's emotional. But for him, I have to make sure I am readily available and engaged. Same thing with my daughter, right? Same thing with Christian. Even if she doesn't become diagnosed with autism, or she doesn't have any diagnosis, she needs to still know she has a voice.
Yeah.
Realizing that balance and setting that boundary with your kids, I realized our boundary was, like you just talked about, we had a wall. Mm-hmm. There was no boundary. If my parents told me to stop talking because I was getting on their nerves, it was stop talking.
And we had no phones back then. So
ain't no phones, ain't no iPads. I was just
we count lines in our hands.
we doing some stuff that we probably was unheard of, but we had to make do with that. And that's no shade again to our parents. Again, we want to make sure we love our parents dearly, and they've done so much for us.
Shout out our parents, man.
Shout out our parents. Yeah, please shout out our parents, man. Don and Tuesday, we love y'all. But we didn't have a voice, and we understood that. We understood that. Yeah. Going through therapy, going through these things, we understand that there was no boundary to be set. It was my way or the highway. It's my word, or there's nothing else. It was a dictatorship.
Yeah, and I was the kid that said the classic line, "Why do we have to go to church?" That was me.
He was.
Why do you have to go to church? Cause I said so. All right, let me go put on this belt. Let me go ahead and get ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put on my shoes.
So I want to make sure my kids have. Our boundary is set where we have open lines of communication right now. Yeah. Right. Until you become of age where you start to kind of have certain things that I may or may not want to have privy information to, we can set that boundary at that point. Yeah. And it can be a balance of when you tell me, how you go about it. We can set that boundary and balance up in the future.
So I got a question.
Sure.
I got a different question, but I'm gonna stick with this for a second because I got a real good question. So, do you believe in being friends with your kids?
Got him. Yeah, I do. And I'm gonna tell you why. So I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Because me and my wife are best friends.
Okay, go deeper.
Okay, I'm gonna go deeper. So me and my wife are best friends. We are also spouses. We are also lovers. We are also, business partners because of marriage. It's a business, right? It's a business partner.
I don't believe in that, but we'll do that another
We can talk about that another time. But our relationship, having children, buying a house, all that stuff is business mindseted things, right? Because all those things are have financial obligations. So that's why I say business, right? I want to make sure I'm clear about that. First and foremost. So why I say I can be friends with my children, because I want them to know I am your biggest supporter. I'm your number one fan. And to do that, we have to have some kind of friendship or relationship. To me, okay. And again, and in that, they know Daddy is fun. Daddy, Mommy are cool. We're fun parents. We want to hang out and enjoy life with you. But we also are here to guide you and prepare you for what's next in life.
Yeah.
And understanding that and setting that boundary as well. Mm-hmm. We cool and we can rock. We can go to the movies. We can do all those things. And we can go shoot basketball. We can go throw the baseball around the yard. We can do all those things that friends do. But when it becomes where I have to be the authority figure, because I'm always going to be the parent in that space.
Yeah.
But when I'm now have to be the authority figure and put the hammer down, it's that boundary is set and the respect is set that you have to know where I'm at with it.
I think that's what I'm saying. So I don't have kids. I actually don't have like a specific stance on it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's okay to be friends with your kids as long as they know when it comes to like decisions, like it's me. It's not a you.
There's not a you.
That's the thing with friends. Like if I ask you what movie you want to go see, which we actually need to do, and you be like, "Oh, let's do this one." I'm like, but I'd rather go see this one. You'll probably be like, "Well, shoot, we can see that one too." If I'm the parent, it's like, "No, we can't watch that movie." Your opinion kind of don't. Okay. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Wait a minute. Let's get into this. So your opinion does matter because I want to hear from you what interests you.
But I'm saying it can't sway you though. There's no swaying opinion. Can it? A kid?
So I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that.
Okay.
The one day that I was gonna, so again, I was setting boundaries, right? The one day I had everything set. I'm gonna go do a massage spa day for me. Go get my feet done. Mm-hmm. Just have a day for me to kind of rest, relax, and kind of get my mind right. After just feeling exhausted and drowned, like just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I was about to leave. I think I told you this story the other day. I was about to leave the house, and my son came up to me and said, "Daddy, are you going to go?" I said, "Yeah, I'm about to leave, man. We didn't have a good day today. We didn't play, whatever, but Daddy's tired. I'm going to go try to, relax for a second." He said, "Oh, can you just help me build something? I just want to build something with you." In that moment,
I already know you cracked.
It's what ain't even cracked. It's a lot of times Deuce does a lot of things on his own.
Right. So
he does a lot of things. He does a lot of things without me, and I have to input myself into his life sometimes because he can get so wound up in what he's doing, even at 4 years old.
Yeah.
That I don't want to miss those opportunities to kind of be involved with him.
Yeah.
So the moment he said that, oh yeah, he didn't even sway me. He took over that because in that moment he cried out and said, "Dad, I need you." Regardless of how it looked, how it came out, he said, "Daddy, I need you." Mm. So as to want to be one of the best fathers I can be, if I would have said, "You know what, son, I'll be here when I get back because I have something to do," would have crushed him. It would have crushed me. I wouldn't have been able to enjoy. Let me be honest. I wouldn't have been able to enjoy. I would have not been able to enjoy 1 second of my spa day, my pampering to myself. Because I'd have been thinking, man, I really let my son down.
So do you look at that as you letting go of a boundary, or you don't have a boundary for?
At this moment, I really don't have a lot of boundaries for my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old.
No, it ain't about them.
But yeah. In that moment, I extended my boundary to say, okay, I'll circle back to this, and in this space, this is needed. So that's why I said it's a boundary, not a wall, because it can be adjusted. It's forever moving. If it's a wall, if I had a wall up, it'd have been like, all right, son, I'm gone. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a question.
I feel like, yeah, that's definitely a wall. I feel like you could have still said, hey, like as soon as I come back, we do it, and it's still not a wall.
It's still not a wall. It's just right. And it's a different option for sure. But to get back to your point, does their opinions matter things? I more so want you to tell me everything. Tell me all your opinions. Tell me what you want to do. I actually do. And when you become a father, I think you'll see it a little differently.
Probably.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why really quick. Yeah. Just before we can go to the next question. But I'm gonna tell you why. It's because if he tells me he wants this, or this is what he prefers, this is what he wants to do, I'm learning more and more about him as a person. I'm learning what makes him feel. It's like being a manager. That's why I say kind of these all this is related to business partners and all these things. It's like being a manager. I don't know what motivates you unless you tell me. Money doesn't motivate everybody. It motivates majority. But sometimes I can't give you money. So outside of that, what can I do? You want what? You want an extra half a day off? You want more sick leave? Would you like me to bring coffee and donuts in the morning? You want free lunch? Like perks. Everybody has certain things that they want. So if you don't tell me and I shut you down from your opinion doesn't matter, you'll stop giving me what makes you happy or what you want in life. And now
you're missing a piece of them.
I'm missing a huge piece of them.
So it's like a learning.
It's all about learning.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I got you. No, that's actually really good. I think a lot of parents need to know that. I mean, probably not near our age, but no, a lot of people copy what their parents do. So,
and I realized there's no shade to what my parents did, but this is something that I feel like I was missing and could have benefited from. We as a family could have benefited from. We as black family could have benefited from, like black families in general. I realized culturally, I've even seen we're out somewhere and parents are like, hey, hush, be quiet, and the child is telling them what they want to eat. They're at a restaurant, mind you. The child is telling what you want to eat. So when you say I'll order for you, you order food, spend $20 for them to eat. They don't eat the food. Now you're mad. You didn't listen.
Yeah.
The child said I wanted macaroni and cheese. You got them a hamburger and fries. They're both on the kids' meal. All you had to do was listen.
Yeah.
But you just shut them down because you're tired of them talking. They've been talking all day. Right. You're just overwhelmed and you're over it. And it's okay. That is, I get it. It happens. We all get overwhelmed, whatever. But you never want to create that boundary with your kids. Again, this is my opinion, right? I am not a doctor. I am not a licensed child psychologist or therapist. But I believe with working with my children, how we have, I've been able to tap in with them so much more because I just listen.
Yeah,
I let their opinion matter. If I didn't let that opinion matter, you would have never been able to get that perfect gift for him for his birthday. I would have never been able to tell you, hey, this is really what Deuce wants for his birthday. Then mind you, that's still what he plays with.
Tell us.
He can't tell me because he'll
change it.
He'll tell you 100 things. But you know what's true? The gift you got him, the number blocks gift, he plays with that every day. Nonstop. All day. But ideally, what I'm saying is I would have been able to do one of the things where it's like, that's the perfect thing for him. That's what he wants. That's what he's asked for. I don't need to buy him $300 worth of a toy car for him to drive around to put on Instagram. Because that's not what he wants.
He's never going to ride it again.
But that $24 gift that comes with a plush toy, 2 plush toys, and blocks for him to build all day, he's in heaven.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants. If I'd have put that wall up, I'd have never would have found out.
No, that's true. Man, that's deep. Hey.
I ain't mean to get that deep, but yeah.
No. It just makes sense and it hit. Even when I don't have kids yet, so I definitely get it. Yet. So, another question. I'm gonna actually answer this first.
Please. Let me get some insight from you. Yeah.
So it's basically about how do couples establish boundaries around spending time with friends of the opposite gender.
I ain't really got a lot to that because I'm
gonna go first.
Please.
But so I think when me and my wife talked about it, it was really so. I really kind of copied. Can you be friends with your ex? I know that's something like different.
Right.
But I was just like, so here's the thing: when you have sexual relations with somebody, you can't do 3 things that friends do. You can't go out late.
Right.
You can't talk on the phone late.
Mm-hmm.
You can't you can't go to the movies late. You can't go out to eat. You can't go to the mall. You can't do anything. There's no calling or talking after 8. Dang near 7 p.m. So it's just like, can they really be your friend?
we can be friends, but now we have different sets of boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? Our boundaries are now different. We're not going to be in a place alone, right? We're not going to be
FaceTiming.
We're not going to have that same. You don't have that same amount of access to me because we are not in a relationship anymore.
Yeah.
And because we had this interaction and it went further, right? We have this a soul tie now, this connection. Out of respect for my spouse, I was
just bringing that to use that as I like to kind of back up my theory. So I ain't even talking about exes. I just mean like a friend of the opposite sex.
Yeah. Again, like you said, as long as there was no soul tying.
No.
Then I don't think that's an issue with it. I do think they need to respect your spouse or the person you're with or you're in a relationship with. I think they should meet each other.
100%. I'm just like, let's go out and like chill together.
Do something together, so you can understand
friends,
who this person is to me.
Yeah.
And I want them to see you how I see you.
Yeah.
Because if we're friends, it shouldn't be an issue that, you come by the house and hang out with the kids and do whatever. All those things should be okay. Now, if you've never met each other and y'all kind of keeping that relationship secret, the secret is the problem. Secret is the problem because it's like, so why are you hiding this person? Do you have ulterior motives? What's going on with that? That's a huge thing with like, you have to set that boundary early. Like, hey, we can be friends. Once you can meet my spouse, meet my wife, meet my husband, whatever you need to do, as far as that goes. Because again, there's some women that also watch the pod. Shout out to all y'all that watch the pod. But you can have friends. Like, again, me and my wife grew up where majority of my friends were women, majority of her friends were males, right? That's how we grew up. So it's similarities in that.
Yeah, and she plays sports.
So again, she talks to every basketball player, football player that came out of PG County that went to the league, whatever. Like they have different types of perspective, different types of relationships. And we've already had conversations where if we've had obviously relations with somebody, that's not going to be somebody that we FaceTime and call and talk to every day. That's really not where we at. And that's cool because we had conversations around that. Mm-hmm. We know what the boundary is with that. So ideally, if we're having those conversations where that's not a part of the friendship, that's not a part of that in that boundary.
Yeah.
Right. That's not in that space. So
I feel like what you said was perfect. The number one thing to do is like let them meet. Cause like, me, I had a lot of, how do I say this? Not girlfriends, friend girls.
They're female friends.
Female friends. Boom. There you go. I had a lot of female friends in college, and one of them, like we're like super tight. So as soon as me and Raven got together, I was like, yeah, like you need to pull up with my other friend. Shout out to Zoom and Mel. I was like, y'all need to pull up on us in Raleigh when we lived out there, just so she can meet y'all. And she met him. Now we plan a trip to be with each other, all four of us, every year, once a year. And it's usually more than that. I've seen them twice already, but it's usually more than that.
Yeah, mine was different. Mine was more so all of my friends met Ashley and became friends with Ashley, and now all of them have relationships, with me and outside of me. Like, my best friend and my wife talk all the time. Like we talk all the time, and they talk all like they have their own relationship, which is cool.
That's how I need to be.
She has one with his wife as well. Yeah. So it's like you gain these kind of relationships and these new family. I almost call them like new family members, right? A lot of the girls who in college that call me little brother. I call them big sister. Yeah. They've met Ashley. They have relationships. We talk outside of me, and that's okay. I think it's anytime those relationships happen, those are fine as long as there's boundaries set, and as long as the communication is happening and there's a balance. I have to be sure that I'm not giving you all my attention and neglecting my spouse.
Yeah. Nah, that's the one thing that can't happen.
Right.
But I feel like, honestly, that's kind of simple, though. I know a lot of people. So here's the thing. No, hold on. I got it. They say a lot of dudes befriend women so they feel like when that wall comes down, they can eventually hit. So I feel like if
single men or just in general?
No, yeah. Single men. Well, you were single at the time, just men in general.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm saying you can't befriend a woman. I'm sorry, you can't still be her friend once you get in a relationship, if you start the relationship,
if that's you're trying to get on,
maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that can't be.
That's the one thing I do want to put out there for somebody to be like, oh yeah, Don said I was straight.
If your focus, if your focus,
yeah, no, don't blame me.
If your focus is trying to, get into a sexual relationship with this person, then ideally, once you get in a relationship, that person is no longer your best friend, your brother, your sister, none of that. No matter the sex, no matter your orientation situation, you your mind still has those feelings. Your body still has those feelings. True. You're still thinking about this person in a sexual way because
one shot of Henny at 10:00 at night is
right.
OD.
Yeah, like I seen a video on Instagram and the guy was like, hey, the guy was like, hey, what you doing over here this late? She's like, I just need to talk. He said, hey, after 10, that ain't talking hours.
That's not talking hours.
And he was like, we are best. She's like, I thought we was best friends. He said, we are between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Anytime after that, it's liable. I'm liable to get into that. So it's like,
and I've had a female friend call me late, and I put on speakerphone, and me and my wife gave her advice like at the same time.
Yeah, I get it. There's emergencies that happens. You got to talk.
Yeah, it was like 1 in the morning. So.
Right, and again, I've been exactly in that situation where emergency happened, and someone had to reach out to me. And they actually, my best friend reached out to me in regards to my ex. And they actually called my wife first to say, hey, is it okay that I reached out to Sorrel about this situation that's happened?
Yeah.
Out of respect. And that's why I say I even have even better male friends as well as female friends, because people know, like, you can come to me with whatever, but you respect me enough and you respect my relationship enough to come to my wife to make sure that it's good.
Yeah.
Lets me know, like, okay, I got good people around me, and I keep those good people around me. You know what I'm saying? So, also with your boundaries, be sure to keep your friend group, keep that circle tight.
Oh no, hold on, talk about that. What you mean?
Okay, so I'll say this: when you're setting boundaries for yourself, if you have friends and friend groups who don't respect your boundaries, you can't be in those friend groups. Okay, those friend groups are not built.
Tough.
But it's real.
Yeah, no.
If your friend groups can't respect your boundaries, can't respect your relationships, can't respect where you are in your new space, it's not gonna work.
It's time to move on.
And
it's still love. That's the thing. It's still love.
I realized, again, I've been watching a lot of pods lately, a lot of different videos. A young man said, "It's crazy that I have day ones." Right? Been with me since the trenches, since I was a baby, since I was in diapers, elementary school, whatever. And those are important to keep you grounded, let you know where you came from, etc. But the day twos are so important. Them people you met when you were finding yourself.
Yeah.
Them people you met when you were in college, you were in your career. Important. They're just as important because they seen you mature and grow into the person you are today.
Right.
That day one might have missed that part of your life. So they're still thinking about you. Man, I remember when you was in 5th grade. Haha, that's funny. But bro, I've graduated, got 3 degrees.
Damn, 5th grade. What are you talking about? I'm filing my taxes next week.
Like we're on a whole different wave.
Yeah.
And I realized when he said that, it clicked so hard for me. I was like, I reach out to my day ones. We got a whole chat thread that we talk, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Wilmont, the crew, Rono VA 540 stand up. But we still talk to this day a lot, regularly, right? We just had a cookout for Juneteenth, had a for Father's Day, had a great time, great event. But a lot of them wasn't with me when I was maturing into the young adult, to the adult I am now.
Yeah, them college days here way.
Those college days weren't high school. Totally different.
A lot of growing pains.
A lot of ups, a lot of downs. More ups than anything, because I tell people that never losses, always lessons. So I learned so much about myself. Now married with kids, house, car. I got career. We got, businesses outside of what we're trying to do, outside of the norm. So it's so much that I'm still learning about myself. My day two see that. It's like, man, you've grinded. I've watched you grind and grow, and you gotta make sure, like, and that's a boundary to set in itself, or a balance. That's a balance in itself. How do you balance those friends versus your day ones and your day twos? You got to make sure that you keep yourself grounded always. I tell people all the time, never let yourself get ahead of yourself. Never get too big of a head, but realizing, I've grown, I've matured, and I'm not who I used to be, and that's okay. And setting that boundary, saying, "Hey, man, I know you remember me from grade school, but bro, I'm not on that no more. Or, you know what? I'm not doing those things anymore. I've matured, I've grown. If they're still there, hey man, they got to be cut from the circle, unfortunately.
Yeah. When I was saying before, like it's still love. Like it's just that, there's no reason, and I don't even believe in the like jumping back or punching down and none of that stuff. But it really ain't no down. You going your way, I'm going my way. So it's nothing but respect there.
You got to set clear cut boundaries.
And I ain't gonna lie, God will remove them. I actually said this at one of my best friends' wedding. Shout out to Javante. And I was like, I remember in middle school. This is middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Pastor Simpson. He said that a prayer that everyone should start saying before they go to sleep is like, "Thank you, God, for everything you've given me. Please remove anything in my life that you don't want." I remember I said that prayer like every night for a week in middle school. This girl that I liked at the time stopped talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
2 friends I thought was cool. We ended up fighting 2 weeks later. Like he threw a bike at my head. You remember that?
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
So it's just I don't know. I feel like if you move with more like purpose.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, that was a slap. Yeah, if you move with more purpose with it and like ask God for specifically what you want, He gonna move. And to be honest with you, it's not gonna look the way that you want it to look.
It's never gonna look how you want it to look because it's God's plan and your plan. They've never looked the same.
Just enjoy the ride.
100%.
That's all I'm gonna say for that. So one more before we go.
Right.
And I can talk about this too. What was that? Oh shit. One more before we go. Whoa. How did you talk about finances and financial decisions together? And I can start too if you want, because we can sit down for it.
Like boundaries around finance.
Yeah,
like
because here's the thing: a lot of people, and even our couples therapist told us to get a joint account, and me and Raven don't believe in that. We have a joint account that pays the rent, and we'll go on vacation. We'll throw some money in it and pull out of it. Mm-hmm. But her bills come out of her account, my bills come out of my account, and we throw money in a shared account for other things like that. But honestly, me and her are both savers. We don't like going out a lot. She likes thrifting. I buy my clothes online, so it's not like we're not like a danger. So it's kind of different for us.
So I'll say again, me and my wife do the same. It's everything. We have separate accounts. We actually don't have a joint account. We talked about doing it to kind of put for the bills out, but
they say it just looks better on paper.
It looks better on paper. We already got a house.
Try to get a house.
Like a lot of things. Like if I take care of the house and the bills, and she takes care of the kids and everything, like it just works for us that way.
Yeah.
But even now, it's like we've talked about it, and it's like it would only. It's working for us.
Yeah,
and we like that, and we realize too that's always been not a sore subject, but that's a tough conversation to have. Mm-hmm. And boundaries around that is, I don't care about what you spend your money on,
Facts.
Right? Because it's you went to work, I didn't go to work for you. Yeah. You made this check. You spend the check how you need to, as long as everything else, as long as everything's taken care of.
Yeah, and if something happened, we can work through it.
I get
every
it.
Single time,
if every month you are negative and down bad, we gotta regroup.
Yeah,
and we gotta sit down and have a conversation.
Facts.
And with me being in finance, me being a numbers guy, like I'm always the go-to person for somebody trying to figure out their finances or trying to save money, whatever.
Yeah,
and I've come up with plans and things for my mom, my dad, my wife, for family members, friends. If you want to learn how to save money, I can help. And just give me, be real and upfront about your spending, what you're spending things on. A lot of times people get buried in bills and don't know how to pay against that. They think they put all their money on it and it looks better and it's less stress on them, but really you're going right back to it because so there has to be a huge balance there and trust. But I think for the boundaries portion, as far as relationships go, if you are a chronic online shopper, Amazon, Shein, I don't know what all the other sites is. I don't really shop too. Boohoo, Fashion Nova. Yeah. Oh, Fashion Nova. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You like online shopping, and you sometimes may forget to pay your bills. You don't need to have a joint account. That's just not for you.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a lot of bills come out, or you have a lot of debt you're trying to work down, I think you need to keep your own account also, because you're trying to manage that. Your spouse or your partner may be overwhelmed trying to manage the household bills and your bills and their bills as well as some of the personal things
That's
that
a
you
lot
have
to put
going
on
on.
a person.
That's a lot to put on anybody, right? So I think joint accounts work for me. Again, my perspective is, to your point, joint accounts work the best if we saying all the bills are coming out of this account. I will put money into that account each month to make it easier for all the bills to be cycled through one account. There's one account number, one routing number, and one debit card used for this specific account for just our bills. And then everything outside of that is on you. I'm okay with that. I think when you put all the money in one pot, it creates tension and animosity, especially if you're both on the same, if you guys both make the same amount of money, your salaries are identical or close to the same. May not be a huge thing, but again, one's a spender, one's not. Like there's it's always some type of wrench in the plan. It's never like, hey, we both are bad at money. You
definitely don't need to.
You definitely don't need a joint account
ever.
But again, I'm not a fan of the joint accounts where you just throw all your money into things unless you're making well above your means, where money's not an issue.
Yeah.
Now again, a lot of us, again, I'm not there. We're not there yet. I'll make sure I say yet, because I do believe God's got bigger plan for us. But at the moment, we're not in a place where money doesn't matter. So dumping all of our money in one account just means if somebody is overspending, they might be dipping into something that someone else has planned to go other places. And now I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, or I'm backtracking because, you overspent this month. Okay, what are you doing to get another month? And now we have tension, and now we have animosity, and now we're having to go through couples counseling.
That you ain't even need.
We didn't even need. Now I'm mad at you because you just don't know how to spend money. But my thing, that's why I said you have to have those conversations. You got to work with people where they are. So that's what I was saying with that.
No, that was good. I think this is a good place to stop. We have 56 minutes.
How many?
56.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's time flew.
Yeah, time flew. You got anything else you want to say to the people?
Man, I really just want to thank each and every person for just rocking with us through this journey. If y'all don't understand, it's a lot that was on my heart for this to come to fruition. And it means so much to me. So again, if one person calls and texts me and says, man, I needed that, it lights me up. I call Don as soon as it happens. I send him a text. I'm just like, bro, this is why I'm doing this. This is what this is for. And I'm thankful, and I can't wait for us to wrap up season 1. I'm already ready for season 2. I just want to be bigger and better at everything we do. So again, this is grassroots. We start from the bottom, truthfully, but we just want to keep growing, keep grinding, keep being real. Start bringing guests on, start getting the videos together. It's so much we want to do.
We need a therapist on, bro.
Oh,
not one that we no either, but we definitely need a therapist.
I got you.
Here. Maybe a financial advisor.
I want to bring so many people on to talk to some
real estate agent.
I got a perfect real estate agent.
Perfect.
Perfect. Ready to talk. Yeah. Shout out my man Jamel. He ready to talk.
Oh yeah. I rock with Jamel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, make sure if y'all got any extra questions, make sure to send them in to the safe space _413.
I think we're gonna start doing some of those. I would like to start doing some of those questions and answers. Once we get our YouTube channel up, we are thankfully some of you guys who say that you guys really don't use Spotify. We are working on getting a YouTube channel created, so that any and everybody can view and watch, follow, subscribe, and share. So with that, I was gonna say thank y'all. We love y'all. And I'm done.
Yep. Thank you for coming to the safe space.